And now to another matter. Going back to the future we talked about earlier today, although we still don't have a working hoverboard we can buy in the nearby store, technology is still changing our day-to-day life in an irreversible way. IoT, smart home, smart cars, wearable devices, digital wealth, and wellness are just a few of the hottest trends we call today digital life. I want to invite to the stage to discuss this trend Uri Weinheber, CEO of TheTime, to moderate the first panel of the day.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, really, back to the future. I want to talk about what's happening in the last few years. We're having a very hectic years recently. I'm sure that you've noticed that. New products, new services, new terms, new investment categories. Everything is changing all the time. I think that just a few years ago, we didn't know that we will live in smart homes. We didn't know that our homes will have intelligence. And today, this market is booming to grow to $100 billion in just 3 years from now. Those are the smart homes. And those smart homes will be located in smart cities. And the smart cities market is growing even more dramatically than the smart homes. Between those cities, we will drive in our connected cars, or maybe catch a ride with one of those self-driving cars that you see in the papers every day. And this market is also growing very dramatically, 37% growth from year to year, just the connected cars. And in those connected cars, we're sitting and wearing our wearable devices. Wearable devices from shoes to glasses, from bracelets to watches, all types of wearable devices. 150 million of them will be surrounding us in just 4 years from now. And maybe the most dramatic revolution, and you're familiar with that, I know that you've heard so much about that, is the revolution of Internet of Things. 50 billion connected devices in just 5 years from now. 50 million connected devices, much more than the number of friends that you will have. Each of you will have so many connected devices surrounding them. It will change your life. It will change our life. And the market will go to $1.7 trillion. It's an amazing revolution. I read this article saying that, see the fridge behind me? I read this article saying that in 5 years, your fridge will be smarter than you. That's scary. But not only devices, not only things are connected, our health is also digital, becoming digital. And in 5 years, projections say that 80 million people will use digital technologies for health from their homes. They will be connected through digital devices and appliances and software to health-related technologies. And if health is getting digital, why not wellness? And wellness sector is already here. There are 7,000 applications in the market already for wellness, for all types of wellness, and 1 of every 3 Americans is using the wellness applications to monitor their nutrition and their diet and their exercises. There's so many aspects of them. So any way you look at it, there's so many aspects of digital life around us. There's so many aspects of our lives that are digital. But don't look at it, and maybe this is the most important thing, don't look at it as different verticals. These are not just different verticals in different markets and different segments. These are all, as we see it, as different aspects of digital life. And what does that mean? What's digital life? Well, it means that the consumer is in the center. We put the consumer in the center, and the consumer needs are in our focus. And when we develop new products, new services, new technologies, we do that with personalization in our mind. And this is the main thing to understand. Question should be asked, why is it happening now? Well, many reasons for that. These are just a few reasons. We have much stronger machines today than we ever had before. Those machines are smarter, and they keep get smarter and smarter because they can learn, and they have machine learning capabilities. The servers behind us are much more flexible through the cloud. They're flexible, they're strong, they're accessible, and we are able to analyze big data, which helps us very much on that course. Of course, cameras are cheap, very efficient, and they are everywhere. Everything can be connected to image recognition and face recognition. We have a very strong ability to find profiles and to personalize services. So we get exactly what we need. Personalization, again, personalization is part of the thing. Of course, smartphones in the hand of everybody. And everything is connected 24/7 all the time. And maybe the most important thing is that we the consumers, we are much more digital than ever before. We speak the digital language. Some say that our kids born digital with the digital capabilities in mind already. Digital natives, as they call it. But the question again, what's the meaning of all that? Where are we going? What are the trends? What should we be aware of when we move forward in this direction? So the first good news is the good news from Accenture saying that this market is still open. The competitive landscape is just starting now, or started just a few years ago, and there are plenty of opportunities from investment point of view, from entrepreneurs' point of view, from any angle that you look at it. Investment categories are changing all the time. We didn't have IoT as investment category a few years ago, and today, not investing in IoT is a big mistake, as fortunes say. Hardware is back in town. We didn't have hardware for years. Now, because of IoT and wearable devices, hardware is back. And you can talk with investors about hardware again. And as you can see, digital health has doubled, meaning that there are new investors coming into this segment and are willing to invest in areas that before they were only to medical-related companies. The best news from my perspective is the fact that this is not open only to technology companies, but it is open to all types of technologies. And what's happening in Israel, before I end up this short presentation? Well, three angles. From the global companies, they are already here. They open the R&D centers, and they open the innovation centers, and they open the wallets for investments. And they are willing to do that. They are looking for that. So this is from the global companies. There are plenty and dozens of interesting, innovative startups in this direction, and they're pushing the limits of products and services and investments, of course. And from the investor point of view, from our point of view, we at TheTime believe that this is the time to invest in digital life type of companies, and these are just a few examples from our portfolio. But we believe that this area opens very interesting opportunities for that. So in order to talk about it, to explore those interesting opportunities, I would like to invite three of my friends to talk about digital life opportunities. Ornit Shinar, Director of External Innovation at Lenovo. Jacky Abitbol, partner at Iris Capital and VP of Ecosystem of Startups at Orange. And Dudi Klein, it's Dudi Klein, right? Dudi Klein, CEO and founder of BioGaming. Thank you for joining us. This is, by the way, this is a digital home. I assume that you know that, so you're connected all the time and you're recorded. So I want to start with you. What's external innovation? What does that mean?
So external innovation is a very broad term. It includes anything from investment, M&As, and strategic partnerships. Our goal in the end is to find interesting technologies and bring them into Lenovo. Any means are legitimate.
What's interesting? What do you mean interesting technologies? In terms of what?
So external innovation is not focused on things that are ready now and that we can sell on or in our products. It's more focused on finding technologies that can be add-ons, that can enhance the abilities of our devices, that can offer more things to the user and turn our company more innovative always than whatever it is doing at any given time.
So you're looking for technologies to be connected, to be embedded into the technologies that you have within the company.
Mainly,
that's
yes.
the idea. And I've noticed that you're more and more focused on digital home and the smart home and smart cities. Very surprising for Lenovo.
So I would say that we're focused on smart users, on smart life.
I can't rely on that. I mean, I can promise you that in smart homes we'll have smart people.
So I think if you look at it in that sense, what we're looking at is what will make the user more comfortable, have a better life, enjoy whatever he's using better. So it really doesn't matter. You know what, I'll give you an example. When I was in elementary school, so 5 years ago more or less, my mother had food in the oven and the oven would turn itself on so that the food would be ready when I came back from school because she wasn't home at the time. It wasn't a smart oven, it was just with a good timer. And a lot of the smart devices we're seeing today are just digital, but the same thing.
So it's a revolution of what we had at home when we were kids. It's kind of an evolution.
So a lot of the things are an evolution, and I think smart is overrated for those devices. We're looking to find really smart devices, and there are a lot of startups that we've been meeting that are in line with that thinking. We're looking at things that will understand what my needs are without me doing anything, that will be able to adapt themselves to better fit what I want and where I want to go and what I intend to do next. So everything is user-centric, everything is interconnected.
Consumer-centric and user-centric?
Consumer-centric in that sense, yes.
Okay.
And
Cool.
we believe that that's the future. I think that the
I
younger people we're talking to, the more it's obvious to them and it's not even a question.
Cool. Thank you. I agree. By the way, I agree with you. Jacky, before we start, just, Israel and Orange and Israel, are we friends? Can we be seen in public together?
No, I think it's the first time somebody asked me the question.
I assume so.
So I'll need to think about it. Obviously, we started Orange. Story with Israel started, more than 20 years ago with, technology scouting, delegations coming to Israel, searching for innovation. But really it started in 2008 when we acquired a company called Orca, which is basically today providing the IPTV platform that we are delivering to our countries around the world. Over the past, I would say 5 years, of course, since I joined Orange, the relationship has been increasing, but seriously, so we've been investing in Israel. We've been, we launched more than a year ago an accelerator program in Israel. So don't believe everything you read on the news. Just see the facts. And
we want to see actions.
Yes, exactly. So over the past year, I think there have been enough actions to show and demonstrate that we are here to, let's say, take advantage of this amazing ecosystem, while at the same time bring innovation to our customers around the world.
Okay, thank you. I'm relieved. Now, with regards to the activities of Orange within this, segment of digital life, I know that you are very much looking for investments and opportunities within the IoT, specifically IoT. What's in there for you?
As you know, for Iris, we have two sponsors, major sponsors. One is Orange and the other one is Publicis. For Orange, what we want to provide to our customers is, you had a presentation before about digital life, and it's a digital experience. So we want them to come to our stores and not only to buy phones, to buy lines, data plans, but also to enjoy all, I would say, the services, digital services. So one of the things is really connected objects, wearables. So we've been investing in several companies, French, European, actually it's across the world. I'm going to give a couple of examples. One is Netatmo, which is a personal base station, a weather station. Okay, so it's a product that you put indoor, outdoor, and will, of course, to tell you through an application what is the weather. And you were talking about examples of a kitchen at home. So here it's like controlling, the air conditioning, the heater. So this is one of the examples, and why we invested in that company is because at the same time we are distributing the products in our shops. And we have a strategy, and this is maybe for the crowd here. It is if you have a product which is under 100 euros, so this is something that we really look into it. We've invested in...
Wait a minute, this is interesting. You're saying a device, an innovative device, 180 euro?
Under 100 euros.
100 euro, not
Yes.
80. No, I'm trying to bargain here, okay.
Customer price. So maybe we can set a price at 80.
Yeah, maybe we can talk to me after that.
So since we have these two sponsors, and again, one clearly, is Orange, and this is one of the strategies. So we tell to Iris, whenever we look into an investment opportunity, we of course look into the commercial opportunity of that product, not only in our footprint, but also outside of it. But obviously, it's a huge advantage for the company to be distributed, to be invested by Iris, and then to be distributed in the shops, in Orange shops.
But you mentioned content. When you talk about weather,
yes,
you also use the content. Where's content in the big picture?
Okay, so one of you talked about IoT. So one of our major project for this year and the year to come is really Data Venue, which is basically an IoT platform which deliver digital services to every segment. Okay, and what we want to do with the content or with the data is not only to use them to provide better services, but also to sell them. So if we have an API for that, so any company providing data can come, plug into our Data Venue platform, and then, let's say, sell those data to their customers. While at the same time, we use the data coming from different sources to provide better services. So this is, I would say, the smart part of the platform. The connected devices is only one part of it.
Thank you. Dudi. hybrid Dudi. You're BioGaming, health and games. How can you manage so different aspects of the company?
So maybe we'll start with a sentence about what we're doing, because the name not usually...
Everybody knows what's BioGaming,
Everybody knows?
Right? No?
Yeah.
Okay, one sentence.
One sentence. We are gamifying everything related to physical treatment. That means everything that the patient needs to do inside the clinic or at home is moving from the clinician automatically through our system to be gamified to a game or virtual trainer. And all the data is collected and analyzed and sent back to the clinician so you can actually understand what the patient is doing. So to your question, we are a medical device company, formally.
A medical
device company, but we are using games or gamification to actually enable us to do that. The main issue in the medical world is how to increase compliance, or a nice new word is adherence, and to make patients do more and reduce the cost of health system and health cost during their process of rehabilitation or whatever. So we are using games in order to move patients to do more at home and then reduce the cost and the pressure inside the system.
Now, I understand what the company is doing now, but my question is, how do you manage this, problematic situation? Which kind of investors do you approach? Which kind of products, of customers do you approach? Because, when you talk to the medical side and you're talking about gaming, they feel threatened in a way. And the other way around, when you talk to game-related customers and consumers, they feel the same.
So that's why we have both. Both medical device investors and both new media investors. I think that in these days, and especially if looking back to your presentation, the future is there. You will not be able to divide between these two sections and to put the pressure on one and to have the right and appropriate product to go to the market. So we actually a multidiscipline company from the product side, from the I would say the high level. We are a medical device company using games.
Okay, Ornit, you met so many companies in Israel. I know that you're looking into the Israeli market very much. Can you share some interesting stories from insights, stories of things that you've seen, but insights when looking at so many opportunities at the same time?
So I've been looking at startups in Israel for 5-6 years now, for a variety of large companies, and I've been seeing the trend where semiconductors more or less disappeared, unfortunately, by the way.
But they're back now,
and
right?
they're back with a twist.
Welcome back.
They're very interesting, and there's a lot of opportunity, and I'm very happy to see them resurrect. And they're coming back now with another big asset that we have in Israel, which is data analytics. And the union between these two worlds is absolutely thrilling, and I think we're seeing very interesting new startups coming up in these areas. In addition to those, we're seeing, of course, a lot of fun stuff. I think there's, if you look at the...
Fun stuff?
Are you pushing me to say to not be nice on stage? I won't be.
No, go ahead.
No, there's a lot of applications or devices that are fun to use, but they're not amazing use cases. And I think this is a question of maturity of the market. If you remember,
give us an example of things that
you really want them to throw rotten tomatoes at me. Well, there's a very famous one with the device that measures which egg is the oldest one in your fridge for $75. I don't think I would be buying or using one of those.
But this is not part of the My Intelligence fridge? It won't be part of that. Maybe
if it was part and parcel of the fridge, it would be better, maybe. But I don't think I'm that interested in this.
So maybe what you're saying is that we will not see, separate devices or small products, but we'll see systems like the smart fridge or the smart kitchen.
So certainly, as a company, we're looking at broader plays, yes. And some of the stuff, I'm terrible. I've been buying every gimmick I can find on the market. So I have something that tells me if I'm putting my heel before my toes and if my back is straight and how many steps I've taken, and you name it, anything. That's for sale.
Back problems, have a word with Dudi.
So I've been buying everything. But in the end, I'm not going to be walking around with 17 sensors on me that keep telling me that I'm doing everything wrong. I know I'm doing everything wrong. That's okay. So we want broader plays. We want things that will actually change the world in a more substantive manner. We want things that are really smart, so that if one device does something, then maybe it can already send messages to everything else.
So connected devices, the connection between those different smart devices is important. That the system again.
So
we're
I
back to
think
system.
absolutely, and I think that everything is user-centric, everything is mobile-centric. We're a very large mobile player in the world, and view that as the brain of everything else that's happening around it. So my coffee machine, I don't want to have to set it and tell it when I want it to prepare the coffee. I want my phone to know when I'm waking up, and the coffee machine to say, hey, she probably wants her coffee 10 minutes later.
So the two things that I've learned here is, one, this is about being consumer-centric, and second, we're not talking about separate small applications and devices. We're talking about systems as a whole that can interact with the different devices in it.
That's right.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Connected scooter? Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess you're referring to a company called Unu. We've invested in it's the Tesla of the scooter, actually, with batteries. I mean, we learned, I think, a few years ago here, we had an initiative. It was a huge initiative called Better Place. So I guess probably everybody is familiar with that. And the idea is we had, with in cars, stations to charge batteries, etc., because the problem was really the battery. With scooter, it's easy. I mean, if you go around Tel Aviv, you'll see everybody biking, but not really biking. I mean, biking with electrical bike. So there's a German company, who's developed an electrical scooter.
Did you say Jordan company?
Sorry?
The company was where from?
German
Jordan
company, yes. There is a growing concern. First of all, the idea is good. The team is smart, and we believe that in Europe there's a huge market for scooters, and everybody has been around Europe to see that opportunity. But also, there's a major concern about, environment and everything related to that. Countries are doing a lot of things. A few days ago, and actually a few weeks ago, in Europe, you had a mobility days where center of the cities were closed for cars, and these guys with this smart idea of a scooter, electrical, but also, as you said, connected, because basically it provides you all the information you want. There is an application as well, and we believe, again, we're here to make money, but also to do good things to the world. So if at the same time
it's
we can
environmental
invest.
issue also.
Sorry?
There's clean tech in it as well.
Absolutely.
Part of the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't say a word about clean tech today. Maybe this is.
But it's part of
the
it.
next panel. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Dudi, in the range between the physical side, the medical side, and the gaming, there's one thing that I was missing. It's sports. Where's sport in this range of the things that you guys are doing in BioGaming?
Actually, also referring to what your presentation was about, we do not distinguish between the medical life and the sport, the wellness, or life. This is only an additional vertical using the same technology. So as we see it, their technology are starting from one point and expanding to others. So we are, for example, trying now to do educational programs for sports for kids, to train them how to move, how to react, how to do their day-to-day activities in the right way, not in the wrong way. And on the same side, training adults post-stroke to teach them how to walk and how to stand straight.
So training is part of it.
Exactly.
It's maybe part of the e-learning side, so combine e-learning and digital health. That's innovative as well. Okay. Thank you. We have only 1 minute left, and I want to ask you a quick question to you, Ornit. There are plenty of entrepreneurs in the crowd that are very much interested in working with Lenovo, and they will be wanting to approach you. Which ones are most interesting for you? Which ones should approach you?
So we're completely stage agnostic. It doesn't matter if you haven't raised any money and you just have a PowerPoint presentation, or on the contrary, you have something that's already quite advanced and you've already raised a lot of money. We're looking for broader plays. So if you're doing a small device that sits on a washing machine, then it's probably great, but we don't make washing machines. Pretty much anyone else, we want to talk to you.
Thank you. Jacky, same question. Plenty of entrepreneurs, they want to talk to you, they want to approach you. Who should approach?
So we're not exactly stage agnostic, so then you go to Ornit. But seriously, we have, I would say, two things that are relevant to the entrepreneurs here. One thing is, if you have a product already existing and you want to access business and do business with Orange, so please come to our program. And the second side, which is on the investment side, so we're looking for companies with already initial market traction, initial revenues, and of course with a link, with an interest to do business, whether with Orange or with Publicis. And this is really, I mean, I would say the crossroad of the two digital, I would say, major corporates in the world.
Thank you, Jacky. Same question to you. There are plenty of entrepreneurs in the crowd that have severe back pain. Can they approach you and use your devices?
Yes, they can.
And then few just, 3 tips for the crowd, for the entrepreneurs when they approach investors from this scape. What should we use? What should they say?
Business first, never raise money, and always raise money.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for coming over.